We behave as if we can think and feel anything with impunity because we do not see the instantaneous results of our thinking. But no longer. As 3D linear time is collapsing into a single point of present time, the time buffer is collapsing too. We have less opportunity to practice being aware of our mental and emotional habits before what we think is what we get. This is a very big deal. Fortunately, some simple energy tools can help you manage your thoughts and emotions in every moment so that you can be prepared for the unprecedented opportunity and challenge of living and creating in present time in the higher dimensions. These basic energy tools are available for free on our website, Mastering Alchemy. But let me explain a few of them here by way of example. Allow the shift to clear your unconscious thoughts and feelings. In simple terms, the shift is using one wave of light frequencies to clear away who we are not, and another wave to remind us who we are. The shift knows where we've stored unwanted, unconscious habits of thought and reactionary emotion, and the light is clearing all this from our vibration. However, as these lesser thoughts and feelings are cleared, they will come into our awareness and magnetize people and circumstances to us that mirror these chaotic energies. How do you handle these often powerful energies when they appear? You allow them. If you can simply observe them with a sense of detachment as they come up, knowing that they are just coming up to be cleared, they will clear quickly and you won't even remember what the fuss was all about. But if you grab hold and engage these chaotic thoughts and feelings, if you insist on feeling guilty or worrying, if you continue to argue that I am not okay or they are not okay, these energies will not be cleared from your space, and the shift, as it accelerates even faster, will become a very bumpy, very not okay road for you. Remember, most often what comes up is not even yours. It does not belong to you. Acknowledge it and know that it is coming up to be cleared forever. Take a couple of deep breaths. Go for a walk, listen to music, but turn your attention point to something of a higher vibration, understanding the lower and higher fourth dimension. To simplify another important aspect of the shift, let's imagine that the fourth dimension has just two parts to it, a lower fourth dimension and a higher fourth dimension. This is not technically true, but it is a useful distinction. As I mentioned, form will remain when 3D disappears. We'll still experience houses and cars and trees, but fear, judgments, blame and guilt, the rights and the wrongs will disappear. All this dense emotional energy, which is the only thing that prevents us from playing in the higher dimensions right now, will simply be cleared from our space. However, depending upon the vibration of the thoughts you are thinking, as 3D disappears, you will find yourself in either the lower fourth dimension or the higher fourth dimension. The lower fourth dimension, which is also called the astral plane, our dream space, holds all the thoughts ever thought by anyone in the third dimension. You see, thoughts don't just disappear after we think them. They live on in the lower fourth dimension with specific weight, texture, density, and emotional charge, and they bond and cluster with all the other thoughts of similar character. Some thoughts, such as rape, domination, slavery, war, hatred, feel heavy, dense, and dark. Conversely, thoughts such as butterflies, children playing in the park, and flowers blooming on a warm spring day feel light and have a simple, airy vibration. Lighter thoughts like these rarely linger in a 3D consciousness because in order to align and feel the vibration of, for example, beauty, we must step out of a 3D consciousness into present time, a higher fourth dimensional space. Wait, you say, I know beauty. You do, because you're now living in both the third and fourth dimensions simultaneously. But how often do you align yourself with and linger on the feeling of beauty? It's a 4D present time skill to take thoughts like light, airy, and beauty to heart. These vibrations don't even exist in the hurry-up past future of the third dimension, where it's very difficult to pause in present time and smell a flower. But on the other hand, have you noticed that heavy, uncomfortable thoughts such as I'm not good enough, or they don't like me, or I'm never going to succeed, tend to linger quite a bit longer in 3D consciousness? This is because thoughts are electric and emotions are magnetic. A set of light, airy vibrations like beauty or graciousness has a low, soft electrical charge that is expansive and fluid, whereas heavier, uglier thoughts come highly charged and wrapped in highly magnetic emotions. These thoughts are not only harder to clear than kind, loving thoughts, they also bond magnetically to all other thoughts like them in the lower fourth dimension. So much of the magnetic field we walk around in, I'm not okay, you're not okay, has very little to do with who we really are. It's just the magnetism of one heavy unconscious thought attaching itself to the magnetism of similar heavy unconscious thoughts. You begin to see why it's vital to become conscious of the thoughts you think and the emotions you throw into your vibrational mix. Fortunately, the second wave of the shift is making this easier and easier. As we let go of the heavier energies of who we are not, the light is rewiring us, stepping us up into a higher fourth dimensional vibration, where lesser thoughts and emotions are not such a distraction in our general experience. We start to live in alignment with the heart and experience the vibrations and consequences of concepts such as, I like me, I'm happy, I'm pleased with myself. The alignment with the heart becomes natural because it already is our natural alignment in the higher fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. However, some assembly is required. Any limitations, judgments, denials, blame, guilt, or resentments that we each still argue for in one way or the other becomes like weights on a hot air balloon. They limit how far we can rise within the fourth dimensional range of vibration. Each of us is 100% in charge of the process. The more weight, lower vibrational patterns of words, thoughts, and emotions we remove, the higher we rise into the expansive experience of the higher fourth dimension. Here it is as if we look past the boundaries and limitations, which were always just a habit of observation in 3D. It's a wider view, a calmer view, and a quieter view. In the upper fourth dimension, you can choose fear or worry and drop into the lower fourth dimension, but you won't. As you begin to align with the heart very naturally, I like me, you're going to find there's no reason or compulsion to choose an uncomfortable attention point in the lower fifth dimension. It comes naturally and readily because it is the language and vibration of your natural well-being, if you let it and if you focus upon it. It's a choice. As the shift accelerates and time collapses and everything is in the present moment, you could still choose your thoughts and feelings unconsciously out of 3D dimensional habit, and you would have the opportunity to live that discomfort immediately and fully in your experience. Or you could choose your thought and emotion in every moment with focus and awareness and live the fullness of that experience. In other words, it's to your benefit to practice and integrate the ability to choose the contents of your consciousness right now, before it really counts, and that moment is not very far away. It's all up to you. Until now, the center of your head, the place from where you can choose your thoughts and attention point, has been preoccupied by the thoughts of others. Your mom, dad, teacher, minister loved you and had an opinion about the best way for you to live your life. And as their thoughts moved into your head, you moved out. Now it is time to take back ownership of the center of your head. As you recognize and let go of the unnatural thoughts that say, oh, I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I must do this, you're going to find that soon all those thoughts with their sticky interlocking connections in the lower fourth dimension disappear. Just putting your attention in present time on beauty and well-being, or just being happy in a state of ease, eliminates the lesser vibrations stored within the lower astral fields of the fourth dimension. Start by playing with the vibration of what I call living words. The archangels very deliberately and precisely selected these words such as certain, capable, commanding, present, senior, graciousness, and happy, so that you can most easily clear all the unconscious vibrations from your space. Choose one word each day and live with it all day. Think it and feel it often. If you practice thinking and feeling these vibrations now, when it doesn't absolutely count, they will become your habit when it does count. You begin to gracefully realign with the fullness of you, and your natural state of well-being lifts you into the higher fourth dimension. Easy? Kind of. Simple? Yes. Does it require awareness and a choice from a present time space? Absolutely. Can you sit on the sidelines and hope it all turns out? No. Increased levels of electromagnetic light from the higher dimensions are now flowing within all of us. Many people in the third dimension cannot handle this surge, and they are choosing to step out of their bodies. And many, many more will follow as the shift accelerates. You see, everyone is going home to the fourth and the fifth dimensions, but not everyone is going home on the same timeline and with the same ease and grace. How do you choose? Blessings, Jim Self. I found this to be a very good article by him, and I might read some more of his on my channel. And I will always put the address of where I get this from in the description bar. But I am recognizing that there are electromagnetic light movement in what I see in light. I've been having this experience with light. With looking at a light, I have a little LED light I look at, but you can also look at the sun when it's low in the sky, not when it's high noon. It'll burn your eyes then. But if you squint your eyes and just allow just a little tiny bit of photons to enter your eye, you can start seeing that space is not empty. There's all kinds of movement and all kinds of goings on in what we think of as empty space. Now, I tell other people about this ability of mine. Well, I have a few, but those few, they don't see it, they don't understand, they're not interested. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll draw some pictures of it, and I tried, and I did make a few little videos, but it didn't really show what it looks like good enough to me. It's like I'm a frustrated artist. I cannot paint that picture of what I see in the light. It's beautiful. And I personally know there are other dimensions that are all around us, invisible to us, but in some cases they can be made visible. Now I look at this light and I see what it does, but I don't understand it with my rational mind. I don't know why I'm seeing it. I don't know what I'm going to ever do with seeing it. Is it encoding me or something like that? I don't know. But I have to just fall back on, well, you know, it's beautiful, and I will just observe and appreciate. And I'll let go of that tendency to want to box it into some kind of it's this or it's that definition, because it's not going to fit into any box. I know that. Anyway, just want to tell people out there, listen to these kind of instructions, because we are moving into another dimension. The fourth, which is a stepping stone dimension for going into the fifth. It kind of prepares us, but we can start preparing now while we're still in the 3D. For the fourth, so because when we step over into the fourth, we don't want to be in the lower fourth and have instantly manifest for us our lower thoughts of hate and vengeance and all that kind of mess. So we want to be in the higher fourth, Practice it now. If you can't get along with someone, see them differently. If you hate some of the politicians, like right now I'm having a little bit of a difficulty liking some of these GOP candidates for the president. And I'm trying to not wish that I could just go slap their face. That thought did enter my mind, but I counter that with, no, that's not what I want. What I really want is for them to understand the truth and make good decisions. So I'm trying to change me about that. It's not easy. And you deliberately have to try to do it over and over and over again until you succeed. So sometimes you can arrest a thought. You've thought a bad thought and you say, oh, I don't like that thought. Well, you can cancel it. You can always cancel it. You can always say, excuse me, that I made a mistake there. Like you were talking to someone who could hear you. And you just turn it around and you say, I don't really mean that. And then make a choice to think a good thought about that person. And then that will be what we all see manifest in our world. When enough of us do that, instead of going off into those dense energies of hatred and blame and guilt. So let's keep out of that best we can. This is the Dove Lady, over and out.